Hey guys, it's me, Wilson, and we're back for another video on F1 22. And we're here for the start of league racing again. Not done league racing in quite a while actually. The last time we properly done it was maybe September. There was a race, PS4, PlayStation, PSGL versus WR a few weeks ago, but I don't really count that as a league race, more of a fun race. So yeah, we're back for proper league racing now, proper competitive league racing with some really good drivers. If you haven't heard of PSGL, it's probably one of the best leagues in the world, alongside WR. I might be biased, I think PSGL is slightly better. Maybe a few agree, maybe a few don't. But yeah, it's nevertheless, they're both very good leagues, and this is the closest you'll get to racing in esports if you've not raced in esports. And sadly, due to my situation last year, I did not race in esports. I had two very good teammates in the name of Lucas and Barry, which, yeah, halted my chances of getting a drive, sadly. So, yeah, we don't look back on it too much, but it just means that with PSGL we've got to perform. This is the only proving ground we have, really, the only place I can get leverage on myself, and yeah. So heading into this race, round one at Australia. There's not tons of pressure, don't get me wrong. It's not esports level of pressure or challengers level of pressure, but the pressure was definitely up there. I was definitely feeling it, especially after not racing properly in a while, against such good drivers. So I definitely felt some sort of pressure to an extent, because it was the first time I've raced against top guys in a while. So really wanting to perform here in round one to make a statement almost, and the comeback, you could say. But yeah, as you can see, it's actually raining right now in qualifying. It's going to dry up, so we went out anyway. I don't really know why we went out. Looking back on it, I think we went out just in case a few people invalidated, or it didn't dry up enough, or something like that. So we had a time on the board, but we didn't complete the time anyway. So yeah, bit of a waste of time that was. But yeah, it's going to dry up now. 1 lap on soft tyres. We've went out fairly early. We've got 5 kg of fuel in the car. We've put it in lean mix on the out lap just to save that extra bit of fuel, just in case we need to back off and go again. But yeah, we've went out pretty early. The rain has been pouring quite a lot in this session, so the track is quite greasy, and it's going to make it very difficult for us to get a clean lap in. And if you don't know, Australia is, yeah, it's an interesting track to try and get a lap together. So, talking about pressure earlier, this is a good amount of pressure on you. One-shot qualifying pretty much at Australia. We've left it enough time to go again. Some people haven't, which is pretty ballsy, to be honest. I don't know why you would do that to yourself, but we've left it last minute. Let's see what we can do going down to turn 1 up. We've got Ferrari on the inside. Nailing turn 1 is going to be crucial for the rest of our lap, and we've done it pretty well, to be honest with you. That was not done badly at all. Heading down into turn 3 now. Braking just at the 100-metre board, trying to get that car turned down. We turn in a bit early, but it wasn't too bad. Up to 5th gear, using this curb to rotate your car. And it's been a pretty tidy first sector. Just clean. We just need something clean and to get us through. It's a 5-9 first sector. We have 2 jabs at the steering wheel there. That's lost us a bit of time. That was a bit scruffy. A 5-9 first sector split though. Not too bad, considering it's Q1 and the track is greasy and the pressure is building up. Now going into the chicane, this is a very, very difficult chicane to nail. You need to hit it, you need to cut it. Turning in just before the 50-metre board. We do not get close to cutting. We cut a little bit on the inside there. It's a 1-7 split. It's not a bad split for Q1, especially with the track decreasing in grip. Going into this next corner just before the 50-metre board. Turning right. Using a lot of exit curb, and then through this right-hander, using a lot of exit curb again on the left-hand side. This corner was a little bit bad. We went all over the curb. That's lost us about half a tenth to a tenth. Then through that, we had a little bit of a correction, which lost us even more time. So we've lost a lot of time in that last sector. 1 to 2 tenths maybe. And we put it P2 momentarily, just behind our teammate Barry Burmans, which we quickly drop to P3. But end of session, we're P10. You can't see the timing screens because my fat camera is in the way. But yeah, I think we got through pretty comfortably. I could be wrong. I think we done a 9-5. We lost a lot of time in that last sector, so could have easily been up there, but it's only Q1. I don't really care as long as we're through to Q2. And speaking of Q2, here we go. Q2. Old tyres we're doing our first run on. This is halfway through a 2-7 split. Slower than our first Q1 lap, which was at the end of the session on a damp track. So we're actually slower than our Q1 split so far on an old set of tyres. So let's put this into perspective, what this time will be at the end of this lap. Really pushing the limits here through the last sector. This is quite a good last sector on used tyres. Going through the last corner, a very difficult corner to try and get the power down. Opening the DRS and then flat to the floor. Going up to the line. What's it going to be? And it's a 17-0, just going ahead of Barry, who likes to call me old tyre merchant. And that put us P1 on a 17-0, which was only a tenth off our fresh tyres, which just shows how bad our last sector was on Q1. But now we're waiting to go out again on a fresh set of tyres. Considering it was one shot in Q1, that made it very easy for us that we could just... Now we can just do 2-2 run-wise. So it kind of alleviates the pressure a little bit. But yeah, here we go, 2.5 tenths up now. Going on to our second Q2 run through the chicane, flinging it in, using a lot of curb this time. That's the most curb we've used all qualifying session. We lost a little bit of time in the exit there, bottoming out a tiny bit on that outside curb. Now going into the last sector, braking just before the 50-metre board. We get it okay, but we slow the car down a little bit too much. You can see not gaining time there on our old tyre delta. Again here, gaining barely any time on our old tyre delta. Then through there, that was done fairly nicely. And then here... Yeah, just lacking a little bit of minimum apex speed. We do gain time though. It's 4.5 tenths up on the delta, up to line. It's a 16.59, which is, yeah, not good enough. You can hear me say maybe there, that was just a bad lap. And there's not much more to it, which builds up the pressure a little bit. We are P7, which could still be through, believe it or not, considering how hard this track is to hook up. But we're going to go again either way. Even if we were through safely, we were going to go again. So... let's see how it goes. Going into turn 1 now, a lot of pressure. We cannot invalidate this lap. Then going through turn 1, we take a lot of curb. Take it very nicely, but just not enough speed was carried through that first corner, and we're 800s down. So now we really need to push throughout this lap. Going through this right-hander, down to third gear, up to fourth, trying to get in the power early, using these curbs to rotate your car around the corner. We've only gained about 10 milliseconds, 100th on our time, not even back to the previous delta. It's a 5-1 split through that fast right-hander. We gained a lot of time there. The time on the delta is flying down, but we're still down on our time. We're going to need a very good last sector here. That is where we lost the majority of our time in the previous lap. So going up to this again, we know we need to nail this. So we're going to have to cut it. We're going to have to do it well. Flinging it in just before the 50-metre board, using a lot of curb, cutting that inside part as well. It's a 0-3 split. Still not ideal. We're still down on our delta. It's going to have to be done all in these last few corners, braking just before the 50-metre board, clipping that apex, and we gain a heap of time. We gain about half a tenth to a tenth through that one corner, using a lot of curb there. We're nearly a tenth up through this left-hander. We clip that curb. That's lost us half a tenth. It's not looking ideal there. Through the last corner, trying to get the power down, opening the DRS, and it's only going to be a 400th improvement. Is it going to be enough up to line? And it's a 5-4, and hopefully that is enough. A very marginal improvement from us. Made it very difficult, very stressful, but yeah, could be worse. That's P7 on the leaderboards, 5-4. I don't know how safely we were through. You can see we've done the exact same time as Matthias, but I think from what I remember, our first lap would have actually been enough to get through. So, yeah, not a bad lap at all. I was just pretty terrified of bottling it, I'm not going to lie. I just wanted to get through there and complete the lap. So, heading into Q3 now, I wouldn't say it alleviates the pressure. Usually I feel less pressure in Q3, but I was still feeling it a little bit here, I'm not going to lie. Just trying to get back into the swing of things in league racing. But again, going through the chicane for the 17th time in qualifying. It's a 9.96 split, not a great split. None of our splits have actually been that great so far in qualifying as we rattle down to this right-hander. A very tricky corner. If you get it right, you can gain a lot of time, or you can lose a lot if you get it wrong. Then through this fast right-hander, using a lot of exit curb, and then through this slow right hairpin, which opens up to the last corner, which is really hard to get the traction down. That car in front distracted us a lot. Lost a lot of time from that. It doesn't look like it, but I think we lost at least half a tenth there. It's only a 4.6. You can see I'm not very happy. The heat of the moment. But going on to our last run now. We deliberately went out early for some clear track as I was just getting fed up with getting cars and traffic and everything. So this is the lap that counts. This is the lap where the money's made. This is the lap that is going to solidify our position for the race. So this one has to be nailed. This one has to be good. No room for mistakes. Going down to turn 1, braking just where the grass ends, and we get a very, very nice run through turn 1. That's 200s up, 300s up, going down to turn 3 now. We're going to brake just at the 100-meter board. We turn in a little bit early and still missed apex. That was a very poor turn 3 from us. Still using that curb to rotate the car up to 5th gear, 6th gear, and then flying through this quick right-hander. Flat out now through, just through this quick right-hander, 6th gear from 5th. And then we're rattling up the gears. That's a 400th we're up now. Still not great though, only half 10. This is going to be a mid to low 9 split, which is still not ideal. I was hoping maybe for a 0.8 split, so this is going to be needing to be crawled back a lot in the last sector through the chicane. We're using a lot of curb on the inside and on the right-hander. It's a 9-3 split. Not ideal, but we're really going to have a good last sector here. It's crucial for our starting position. Braking just at the 50-meter board, and we turn in a little bit too early and don't carry enough speed. We've lost half a tenth through that one corner. Through here, we're really sending it, using all the track on the left-hand side. Through here, the slow left-hander hairpin where we lost a lot of time on the previous lap, just clipping that curb, rotating the car nicely. That's a tenth up on the delta, up to the line. What is it going to be? Will Lewis ahead of us, and it's going to be P4 with a 3.6, and I was really disappointed with that lap. It was not what I was hoping for, but thankfully it puts us P5. A little bit better so as Jake just ahead of us, but I think if anyone said their mistakes, the session would be full of PBs, wouldn't it? So that's on us, just missing out on Jake there, which is quite annoying, but I'm sure Jake made plenty of mistakes as well, as did most people. Maybe Barry didn't, but yeah, good lap from Tom as well. A 2.4, that's a pretty solid lap. That's kind of what we were aiming for. Heading into this, our PB was a mid 1, which isn't fantastic, but it's definitely not slow. But yeah, it's a shame about that. We just messed up a little bit, but that's the way league racing goes. But straight onto the race now. Starting on hard tyres. We've got Jake Benham in front of us, the Mercedes esports driver. He's done a few races in esports before us. But nevertheless, we've got 3 red lights, 4 red lights, 5 red lights. And lights out, and away we go for the first league race on in 2023. Do we get a good start compared to the cars around us? Look at Tom Manley. We get an amazing start compared to us, but we're squeezed on the inside. We bottom out on that inside curve, and there's not much we can do there compared to Tom Manley. We're using the RS, hoping Matthias doesn't battle us. We're weaving left and right, seeing if we can make anything work. Just trying to defend our position now. Thomas Ronhar shoving Barry off the track there, and we can't get anything done. It looks like it's going to be us holding position just behind us, Ruben Pedreno. P6 now is Ismail Fassi, a second back. A lot has went on back there. I believe Will Lewis had a screen freeze. He was P7. He is now dead last from what I remember, and that's not went well for Will Lewis. Very unlucky, looking very quick as well. So if Will Lewis is watching this, yeah, unlucky for you. P5 though, and now we're just trying to settle into our rhythm. As Jake Benham misses the apex, there's really not much we can do here. We've got Ismail Fassi a second behind us, and yeah, as I was saying, Will Lewis and Ismail Fassi, both F2 drivers coming up as reserves, both doing pretty well for themselves. It's a shame what happened to Will. He had a few screen freezes which have effectively put him out the race, so he will be retiring from this session probably. And Ismail Fassi, he's the current championship leader in F2, just ahead of Will, I believe. So good to see a few new names, few fresh faces, as well as Tom Manley. Not properly raced him in a while. So racing a few new names here, as well as Jake Benham, Barry, Yarno, the usuals. But moving on to lap 9 now, nothing's really happened throughout this race. And we're just trying to apply the pressure on Tom. I really felt I had a lot better race pace than quali pace at this track, which is quite unusual for me. Usually it's the other way around, and I don't know if it was set up. Compared to Barry, I was on a lot less wing, and compared to a lot of the grid, I was on really low wing, which I was quite surprised by, because when I was making the setup, it didn't feel like it was low wing. It just kind of turned out to be that I was on very low wing. So yeah, I think that might have helped her race pace a lot. It just depends, but we'll have to see. From what I was seeing in this race, I definitely felt quicker than Tom. I'm pretty sure Tom's done a tweet or something saying he was struggling with race pace here at Australia. So maybe that made our pace look even better. But you can see 3/10 the gap to Tom, 4/10 now, and he's pretty far back from Jake, about 7/10 back from Jake. So yeah, it's getting pretty.
So we can stay out for 2 more.
Yeah, just
we can do at least 1 more. Yeah.
Just please don't let him jump us.
Yeah, happy for you to push now.
I don't think we should pit this lap of Wilson yet.
Yeah, no.
Aim for next lap, Wilson.
Next lap, 100%.
No, go now. Go now, please.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
He's using Thomas. I think you want to pit maybe this lap?
I'm doing
75.
opposite. I'm doing opposite.
What? Gonna?
And as you can see, or hear, may I say, we're going to be trying to figure out when we're pitting. So yeah, we weren't really too sure what we wanted to do. From the practice, from what me and Barry tested, the overcut was really powerful. So I ideally was hoping Tom would pit, and then I would push really hard and drive into the gap that Jake has in front and just use everything. But we're going to do opposite to Tom Manley, and he does not pit, so we swerve into the pits, just missing that inside wall in the pit lane. And I'm not going to lie, I really didn't think this was going to work, but we had to do something different. We were quicker than Tom the whole race. I feel like our race pace was really strong, and we had to do something different. So whether the overcut was stronger or not, doing this is really our only option of gaining time, and Matthias pit, I think, the lap before us, so we're already getting to that point where we're going to be in undercut range from Matthias, so as well as our teammate being in front of us, kind of, limiting options. So this is all we could really do at this point in situation, and now we're just going to push as hard as we can, really. Tyres are really cold, and this is what hampers the undercut on this game, is just the tyres being so cold in this first half of the lap. You've just got no grip, and you can see it looks like we're driving in hard tyres with heavy fuel. It's really not ideal, but heading onto this straight, we've got a full battery pretty much, and we're going to use pretty much as we can to a reasonable extent as we use everything going down this straight. Low wing's really helping as well, and yeah, you can see purple middle sector just showing that the ERS usage is helping, and we're just hoping at this point that the front runners are not going that quick. I know Barry wasn't using ERS, so they can't have been that quick because they're all doing Barry's pace right now. So this is going to help us a lot going into this undercut, and we're just going to hope we can get something done in Tom. Tom might come out ahead of us, but we've got the warmer tyres, so hopefully we can push. We've got 1 lap fresh or older tyres, but these have just done 1 lap round Melbourne. They're going to be heated up, and you can see Tom Manley right there. I was setting this up. I knew he was going to be slow in the apex, so I was going to brake a lot more, get that switchback done. We're going to go round the outside of Tom Manley. Just fucking go. And as you can hear, we're very happy with that. That's P4, a net P4 in the books, just behind Jake Benham. Jake Benham's also in cold tyres. I wish we had something left to be able to go for Jake. We do have a lot of ERS, but Jake's going to have more ERS. And you would have to be, yeah, you'd have to be a bullet, like a proper bullet in the straight to try and pass Jake now, because he's going to have more than us. He might have colder tyres, but there's going to be nothing we can do. So yeah, moving on to lap 20 now. Ismail Fassi's all over us. We're having to use ERS. I really struggled to get up to pace on these medium tyres. So going through turn 1 now, we missed that apex, just clumping it, and it's just not really worked. And now Ismail Fassi is all over the back of us. He's going to try and go for a move round outside. We're leaving him just enough room on that outside. We go a little bit deep. He's going to try the switch back, and we shove him onto the grass. A little bit harsh, a little bit aggressive from us there. I think it was fair. I mean, Ismail didn't seem to complain, so it's fair in my books. But yeah, that's lost us a lot of time to the car in front, which is Jake, and this isn't helping us because now we're having to use a lot of ERS at the moment in time. I was not happy, which is the heat at the moment. I'm not very good at keeping my emotions in. Let's put it that way. But yeah, it was very harsh racing, and that's kind of put us in the back foot on that lap. You can see trying to just recharge the ERS is pretty difficult around here. So now we're just trying to not use any ERS as well as trying to defend from Ismail as Barry and Ronhar collide. Going through this last corner, we're all over the back of Jake Benham. Can we get anything done on Jake Benham? We're not going to use the ERS. You would think we would, but we're just going to sit behind and hope that they battle more going into turn 1 or 3. We have a little look trying to put Jake Benham off, but he's not going to be phased by that. As you can see, not using a lot of curb on the exit. Ismail trying to get a little bit close. We use the ERS a little bit. Can we get a move done on Jake? But no. We think better of it, and yeah. Again, I really didn't see the benefit of going for a move there. We could have used all of our ERS. Went for a move in Jake, but at the end of the day, we probably would have lost ERS to Thomas or whatever. Had older tyres, less ERS, and then it would have just been it, to be honest. But again, nothing happened between those laps. We've just been recharging ERS. We used it a lot on the last lap, and now we're going on to the final lap of the race. And it's been a pretty boring race, but let's see if anything happens up front. We're one position away from a podium. Jake Benham just ahead of us. All the cars in front of us have fresher tyres. Ismail has the same amount of tyres, but it looks like we're safe from Ismail Fassi behind. Jake Benham goes a little bit deep there. Can we get anything done? It doesn't look like we're going to be in striking range of Jake, which is unfortunate as, yeah, it would have been nice to have a little bit of a race at the end. But it looks like we're going to have to hope and pray on others' downfall. See if anyone else makes a mistake. We've got one warning at this point as I shift down to 5th gear. My force feedback made my finger hit my downshift paddle, which was thankfully no one was close to me because that could have ended very badly. But yeah, Jake Benham 7.5 tenths ahead as we go through this left-hander, and Thomas Ronhar has actually just got himself a penalty, and I can clarify that that is a legit penalty. Ismail Fassi 8 tenths behind. We're going to have no threat from behind. Jake Benham 6 tenths just ahead of us, now half a second. Can we do anything heading into this final lap? We're way far too back to be able to make a move on Jake Benham. Going through the last corner now, it looks like, as we have a big tank slapper there, it's going to be P4 on track. But it looks like after penalties applied, Thomas Ronhar getting 3 warnings. Yes, you heard it legit, 3 warnings on the last lap. We got P3, and yeah, very happy with that. A very boring race, I must say. It must have been a very boring race to watch, but I'm really happy with that. Yeah, P3 is not a bad way to start off the season, and considering it's my first competitive race in quite a while, I was really pleased with that. After not racing for a while, it's only PSGL to an extent, but you know, not feeling this level of pressure, not feeling, I kind of almost lost the feeling of adrenaline and that feeling on a quali lap and that feeling in a race start, or you know, just trying to stick with people, not get penalties. I really did miss that feeling, and it's a really nice way to start off the season, especially considering I'm representing McLaren, who, you know, just won the F1 Esports title. It's nice to live up to expectations to an extent, so I'm very happy with that. Congrats to Jake on the P2. Me and him both actually moved up 2 positions from our starting position. Barry on the win, fantastic drive from him. I think he's won 4 of the opening races or something like that. So yeah, Barry is no slouch, and he'll be in a title charge, I'm sure. But yeah, as I said, very happy with that race. First podium in quite a while, I believe. I can't remember the last time we got a podium. Maybe it was Belgium last season or something like that. But as I say, it's just really nice to get a podium, really nice to get back driving. I didn't realise how much I missed league racing and how much I missed racing until I done this. I just missed the adrenaline, and it was definitely needed. And as you can see, well, you can't see actually because my webcam, but yeah, Thomas actually did get 3 legit warnings on the last lap, so we got very lucky with that podium. A podium is a podium. That's a 1-3 for McLaren, which means we are leading the PSGL constructors and drivers, not me, barriers. I'm P3. But yeah, really good result, really happy with that. Thanks for all your support as well. I got a few messages and a few things in Twitch chat. I really appreciate it. It does mean a lot after not racing. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. We're going to be doing these videos for the next 14 weeks straight, as that's how many rounds are in PSGL. So that's going to be pretty brutal. But yeah, if you guys liked this video, please leave a like and subscribe. Comment if you've got any questions or you want to see any other videos. Go follow all my socials, Instagram, Twitter. They're pretty much just my name. Type it up and you'll find it. Especially on my Twitch, which I stream practice and these races as well. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like. Thank you for all the support, and I hope you have an amazing day. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.